I thought it was the most extraordinary advert for Englishness. I did wonder how the late Queen would have responded to the public display of affection.
Well, I assumed that this was an Archewell production.
And what's the alternative? That she should sit and do a piece to camera, poke-faced?
At 100 minutes after this major revelation, by pure chance, Netflix, Meghan and Harry decide that is the moment to promote a series that doesn't air until December. They wanted to capitalise on all the publicity around the Kate announcement by saying, boom, by the way, don't forget about us.
They're just remorseless, selfish, false, ghastly couple.
What do you expect him to do to
Not
earn
trade on-
money?
not
Not
trade
trade
on
off the
Royal
institution
family.
he trashes.
Money.
Yes.
Kate's cancer video, I know what we'll do. We'll stick out our promo for our Polo series. Wow. It's been a wretched year for Catherine, the Princess of Wales. There was Kate's spiracy, the botched Mother's Day photograph, months of vicious and unfounded rumours about her marriage, and most seriously of all, of course, she was diagnosed with cancer. But this week, to everyone's great relief, she announced that she's now through chemotherapy and is currently cancer-free.
To an end. I cannot tell you what a relief it is to have finally completed my chemotherapy treatment. The last 9 months have been incredibly tough for us as a family. Life as you know it can change in an instant. This time has above all reminded William and me to reflect and be grateful for the simple yet important things in life, which so many of us often take for granted, of simply loving and being loved.
Of course, these days we're not allowed to have nice things. Social media critics and some commentators called it contrived, a cringe fest, and perhaps the most damning critique of all, like something Harry and Meghan would do. As you might imagine, I disagree. In a late entry for the most tasteless and despicable deed of the summer, Harry and Meghan released an advertisement for their new documentary about polo, the world's most elite sport, just 90 minutes after Kate's announcement. Well, joining me now to discuss all this is royal historian Tessa Dunlop, lawyer and commentator Paula Rhone-Adrien, and author of Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, Tom Bow. Well, welcome to all of you. First of all, I've seen you all since the end of the long, hot summer. Tom, let me start with you, because it was an extraordinary way to make a statement. I've never seen anything quite like it from a member of the royal family, where we had this 3-minute, highly produced, movie-quality film. But at the heart of it, as I wrote in The Sun, was a princess laying herself open and saying, I've realised what is really important in life is loving and being loved. And the film certainly showed that with her husband and her kids. But what did you make of it?
Well, it was very gushing and it was beautifully made and it was unique in the sense we'd never seen anything like that before for the British royal family. But I think the public mood towards Catherine is so beneficent. Everyone loves her and wants her to survive and prosper and be the future queen, that if that is the way she wants to reintroduce herself, everything is forgiven. And I thought there was nothing nasty about it, there was nothing over the top, it was just, this is how I want to be known. And that's fine. I thought, therefore, I liked it, and everything Catherine does, in my view, is okay.
I found it very moving, but only because I think she's a young woman in her early 40s who's, we don't know what cancer it is, but it must have been serious, whatever this is, because it's taken her out of action now for most of the year. She hasn't given any commitment to do any more engagements this year. She may or may not, she says. And, you know, I know somebody at the moment with terminal cancer, and we all know people who've been touched by cancer. It is an appalling thing when it's someone you know going through this, both physically but also mentally and emotionally for everyone. Tessa, though, if you read what Daily Mail columnist Liz Jones said, she said about the video, cancer is messy, imperfect, shattering. After all the mental health initiatives, her work stressing the importance of shaping young minds, this strange, odd film seemed a misfire from a family once so protective of their privacy. And Melanie McDonough in The Standard wrote, forgive me, was it necessary to share this news with the nation in such an utterly grisly video? It's as if she was advertising herbal essences, shampoo. What do you think of that criticism?
Well, it's interesting. It depends where you believe the key role of monarchy is. And given that they are the future, the touchstone, if you like, and all eyes are on her internationally as well, I thought it was the most extraordinary advert for Englishness. It was a golden summer that I didn't experience. I mean, you went overseas.
Well, I did. I was in Italy and France.
Those of us hunkered down in Britain. So on the one hand, it was a brilliant advert for the nation. So well done, Kate. I'm sure the English Tourist Board are currently raking it in. But there is a disconnect. And I think the reason there's a disconnect is because this is a very different version of monarchy that places family in the smallest sense of the word first and monarchy, the institution, second. What Kate's basically saying is, this is what I value the most, and it's my family, and everything else, including being a part of an institution of state, takes very much a back seat. And I did wonder how the late Queen would have responded to the public display of affection.
Well, OK, so Paul, let's talk about that, because the Queen, apart from the fact, we'll come to it, there's been the world's worst statue of the Queen released today in Antrim in Belfast, just quite extraordinary thing, in Northern Ireland. Let's park that horror story to one side. People have said, well, the Queen would never have done it. Interestingly, towards the end of her life, the Queen started doing some stuff, the Paddington Bear film, the Daniel Craig thing, things we would never have expected her to ever deign to do. She was beginning to relax herself in terms of the kind of content she was prepared to put out, recognising that in this kind of Instagram-friendly world we now live in, if you want to get to the eyeballs you want to get to preserve the monarchy, you maybe got to get in this game a bit.
Yes, but if the point of this video was to control the narrative, which is what we hear a lot about, don't we? I have to say I'm confused, because when I watched the video, I was befuddled. I couldn't understand the words I was hearing with then what I was seeing. What I was seeing was, as you said yourself, Piers, something that was very well produced, very slick, very polished. And it was almost like a show, because on the one hand, we had George going up to the camera in his cute, cheeky way and saying, is this rolling? Well, we know it's rolling, and we know that you've got 6 cameramen standing behind you, etc. And on top of that, honest to God, when I finished watching it, I wanted to know who the producer was, because I assumed that this was an Archewell production, because this looked like a Harry and Meghan.
It was that bad, you mean?
Well, I'm not suggesting that that's why you might think it was bad. I'm saying that it was very glossy, very California, very let's run barefoot in the sand. And that, to me, didn't represent what the message I understood
someone posted on X, as Liz Jones reported, this isn't what cancer looks like. Other sufferers will feel, well, I'm doing it all wrong. Others commented, why are the wardrobe changes, the soft music, the slow motion? It was intended to show they're a happy family, but you have to try this hard, ...
Hang on, for 1 minute. Let's just cut the woman some slack. We were like braying animals at the bars when she released a homespun photograph with a little bit of tweaking here and there.
Yeah.
So can you blame her for going all out schmaltz and taking a leaf out of the Oh-So-Californian book? To be fair, I totally understand why this was choreographed to within 1 inch of its life. It's what we asked for.
But then compare it with the video that we had at the end of March, forgive me if I'm incorrect about that date, when Kate had to, sadly, she was forced, she was pushed into telling us that very personal detail about her cancer journey.
Again, that was soft focus, daffodils waving.
But it was her. In this video, Piers, I didn't see Catherine. What I saw was something that felt like an actress using the words of Catherine. And that I thought was very interesting, because, as I said, I wondered whether this was about having some kind of polished, controlling the narrative exercise, rather than Catherine being able to say, everyone, I've made it through this very difficult hurdle and I'm on to the next stage. I would also question some of the wording that was used. For example, I'm here holding your hand, other cancer sufferers. I would have thought we would have seen that. I would have thought we would have seen Catherine.
You mean literally see her with other cancer patients?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but see, I would take issue with that, because when I read that last line, I thought what I liked about it, and we'll come to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex element of this, but everything they do, in my opinion, and we can argue about this, is self-aggrandizing. It's to promote themselves. It's to do, whatever they want to do.
All the charity work, all the work with Invictus.
This was a princess laying herself bare and saying, I understand that there are a lot of people out there with cancer. and I just want you to know that I'm metaphorically here with you. That's why I'm doing this. I want to shine a light on cancer and everything else. I thought that was powerful. Isn't that actually the duty and role of the monarchy? Is that the senior players do, even though we know they live in palaces, we know they have servants, we know they have all the trinkets, ultimately they put a kind of metaphorical arm around and say, we're with you. They're like the country's comfort blanket.
I totally agree. And that was the issue. That was the juxtaposition for me, because I was hearing these words and I was confused as to, OK, I mean, I've got family members who have thankfully survived their cancer journeys. It didn't look anything like that. And that's not to say that Catherine's journey needs to look like my family member's journey or anybody else's
Tom, let me bring in Tom. Is that a fair...
No, because you don't know what the journey was like. I mean,
I'm accepting
what
that.
What we're seeing is the end of the journey, so to speak. And, you know, she wanted to reintroduce herself to the public. I thought it was very, very wonderful to see the happy family. I think they have to appeal to the youth of Britain, who are not natural monarchists. They wanted to show that they were a happy family again. And what's the alternative? That she should sit and do a piece to camera, po-faced? I mean, how should she?
Well, to not pander.
But what about... I have seen the criticism that if she talked about holding the hands of everyone who's got cancer, maybe having some footage of her actually with other people.
Another time. You know, she clearly hasn't got over it. She's got through the chemotherapy. There's a lot more to go.
It'll be 5 years before any doctor says...
You're out of remission. Exactly. All she wanted to do was say, I'm back. Last time she did it with the photo, she was criticised. She's criticised whatever she does. That's the terrible thing about this discussion. She can't get it right for some people.
But actually...
For me, she can only get it right because she is the future of the monarchy. And if that is the way she is advised to reintroduce herself, if that is the way in which, in this beautiful film, schmucky but lovely, that is the way to...
Funny enough, I think it was all from her. Yeah. I just got the real feeling she wasn't advised to do it this way. She decided...
Well, she chooses her advisors. And her advisors give her what she wants and then translate it into that film. I think that's fine. I think, you know, she has got to imagine, and I think this is right from her point of view, she's got to take the monarchy on to the next stage. She's got to anticipate that there's a whole new 2 generations.
And young people, you know, the monarchy's getting slightly less popular, right, as the years go by.
It's bombed out recently.
Well, it's getting slightly less popular. They are the big stars of this royal family. All the polls show that William and Kate are the top 2 most popular by a mile in this country, and that, you know, the bottom 3, Prince Andrew, Harry, Meghan.
I didn't put them. I didn't put them there. They're there because of their behaviour, as I've tried to tell you. You can't kid the public for that long. If the public are being given one particular piece of information,
but let's remind
and that particular piece of information is being repeated consistently.
Well, I think people get judged on their own actions, actually.
Well, if they did get judged on their own actions...
Let's come to them in a moment. I want to make a point, though, Tessa, about this. That the king still has cancer. We don't know how serious that is. He's been seen out and about, but, you know, you're 75 and you've got cancer. That's pretty serious. So we don't know how long he will be with us. I mean, I hope for a very long period of time. But if, God forbid, you know, he suddenly deteriorated and wasn't with us, William is suddenly propelled to be the king of his country, and Kate will be his queen. And the future of the monarchy, as Tom said, rests on their shoulders.
But I actually thought, and I want to go back to the set dressing, timeless England, a forest, the ancient oak. This idea of a land that will endure irrespective of who monarchy is. And we see several options. We see young George. Oh, he talks. Oh, he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We see William loving his wife, sickly or otherwise. And Charles is in the background. This is about the future and beyond. What disturbed me slightly, and here there were echoes with American Riviera Orchard, is the way in which the 2 leading female protagonists, Kate and Meghan, are taking us way back when to the 1950s. Meghan with her mixing bowl and flowers, Kate skipping through cornfields, the sort of fecund mother, you know, making a recovery just to be loving and loved, and maybe a little bit of light work. And actually, I don't think that is representative of the standard woman who gets cancer, who's a mother and who's also having to bushfight on other fronts. And I think I wanted something that spoke to modern women today, and neither of our Meghan or Kate
Did you want a shot of her in hospital getting the tablet, the chemotherapy tablet?
No, but it was very old-fashioned. It
wasn't old-fashioned. It wasn't old-fashioned because the Queen would never have done it. It was very modern, and she showed a modern family. I don't know what you mean about the journey. She's gone through it. She's clearly had the most horrendous time, and she wants to show some hope. And I think that's what the country wants. They want to see that the royal family offers hope again, is back in business, so to speak. Well, it isn't terminal as it appeared 6 months ago.
Well, I agree. And let's mention the second part of this, which is literally 90 minutes. I was 100 minutes. It was 100 minutes later. Netflix drop a promo for the new Archewell Productions documentary series about polo. And up it came on everyone's social media. And look, there's three things you could say about this in terms of what was behind this. One, it was a complete and utter coincidence that 100 minutes after this major revelation and announcement and film from Kensington Palace, by pure chance, Netflix, Meghan and Harry decide that is the moment to promote a series that doesn't air until December. The chances of that, I would say, are No Hope and Bob Hope. And Bob Hope has been dead for many years. Secondly, they did it to draw attention away from their rival palace, from the sibling that Harry hates and doesn't talk to, from the sister-in-law that Meghan hates and doesn't talk to, and vice versa. Or that thirdly, they wanted to, and this is probably my preferred theory, they wanted to capitalise on all the publicity around the Kate announcement by saying, boom, by the way, don't forget about us. Now, interestingly, Paula, you might recoil in horror because you never like to be brought too closely to reality with these two.
Wow.
About just how cynical they can be. But interestingly, it completely bombed. The next day's papers barely mentioned at all this polo series, nor did any other publications I saw around the world. It was all front page on Kate and William. Why do they do this kind of thing?
Well,
and the moment Netflix did it, even if it was an accident, why wouldn't the first thing you would do is ring them and say, please take that down, that's just going to backfire?
Well, I'm going to suggest that you're incredibly cynical when it comes to Harry and Meghan.
Very, very cynical.
Anything they do.
Yes,
and
with good reason.
And I'm also going to suggest that your grasp on reality, because of your cynicism, means that it's waning. Let's be honest, Piers, because the fact is, you know that when you come to market a show, it is done months in advance. This is not about Harry and Meghan.
Do you think it was pure coincidence?
This is not about... No, I don't think it was coincidence. I think the date...
Deliberate?
I think the date had always been set for when Netflix were going to first advert. Of course.
You want to take a bet on that?
And I can give you an example.
You want to bet on that?
No, I don't, because I don't know.
No, you don't.
No, but can I give you an example?
Even a pound?
Can I give you an example? Can I give you an example?
Because you know it's nonsense.
Work with me with my example. Bear with me. Control the cynicism. I am going to be in a show. That show does not come out until October. It was advertised from April of this year.
Yeah, that's not my point.
Yes, it is.
Let me bring in Tom for a reality check
Yes, it is, because
Tom, you and I have been around the media block a little longer than young Paula. Hope you don't mind me calling you that. I'm sure you love it.
I'm very happy.
Everything's relative.
Tom, is there any world in which this just happened by chance?
Not. It was someone heard about it. He said, because the only raison d'etre of the Sussexes is to capitalise on their royal connections.
Right.
And the royal connections have got to be to associate themselves with the British royal family.
But what does it say about them that they would be happy for this promotion to go out within 2 hours of such a personal film about cancer from Kate?
They are just remorseless, selfish, false, ghastly couple who only believe in promoting themselves because that, in the end, is their only source of money. And what is very interesting in all this, which has never got commented on, that when Harry came back to England for Robert Fellowes' his uncle's funeral 2 weeks ago, he didn't go up to see his father.
No, stayed with Earl Spencer.
But he could have gone up to Scotland. I mean, the man who dashed over when it was all announced, he forgot about his dad. And so the whole thing is always
And also, he managed to come and go without any threat to his life.
No threat to his life.
In relation to this ongoing security.
Everything about the Sussexes is so contrived, so self-interested, so unbelievably appalling that one can only imagine that they really wish Kate and William ill.
Yes.
That's the real
What's
problem.
my goodness me. I think that's
extraordinary is
very
that you've
unfair.
Just levelled the accusation of Harry and Meghan as being contrived in the same breath as you admit Kate can basically do what she likes, and yes, you said it was schmaltzy, etc., i.e. highly contrived.
Here's the difference.
So in other
Why
words,
is-
Hang on.
Kate can be
Hang
as
on.
contrived
Tessa,
as she
why-
likes,
why is
but Harry and
schmaltz
Meghan
Tessa,
can't.
Tessa, here's
Yes.
the difference.
What's the
Kate's
difference?
film is
Yeah.
about her cancer.
Her
She's
truth. Her truth.
No,
No, but it is her truth,
No,
isn't
no,
it? It's her version
It's not about
of
her
her
truth.
cancer.
She has cancer.
Yes,
She's not inventing
yes.
it.
No, I'm not
right?
suggesting she
When people
is.
talk about my truth, it normally means it's not the truth.
No,
right?
because-
There is the truth. It's not her truth.
It's part of the story.
No, it's not. It's a fact she has cancer, okay?
But we don't know what cancer.
And it's a fact
So
she's
what?
had chemotherapy. Okay. We know a lot more about what's happened to her than we normally do about royal health issues. But here's the difference. She's making no money out of this.
Oh,
She makes...
Piers.
Well, hang on, let me finish my point. This is a very personal thing about her health because she's the future queen and we've been demanding to know. Meghan and Harry's video, or their promo for their documentary, is a pure money-making exercise, trading off their royal titles to fill their coffers with yet more ill-gotten cash. That's why Tom and I are so cynical about it, because we see right through it.
Now, I don't know how you get on with basic arithmetic, but since the late Queen acceded to the throne, followed by Charles, the value of the Duchy of Lancaster and the Duchy of Cornwall put together, and William now, of course, is a Duke over the Duchy of Cornwall, has increased in value 16-fold, 1.6
So what?
billion
So what?
pounds worth of profit.
So what?
Exempt of capital gains, exempt of
So
corporation,
what?
which, by the way, would cover holus bolus the
don't
entire
say
winter
nonsense.
fuel
That's
duty.
absolutely
It's
nonsense.
not nonsense.
It is.
Tom,
The
it is
Duchy of
100.
Cornwall
What's your
Don't say
point?
it's nonsense.
What's your
My
point?
million
My point
pounds.
is, Kate does not have to worry about money.
Well, but-
and in fact,
well, so what?
after we've experienced the Labour budget, which I think will attack
this is nonsense.
inherited wealth, the only people who will be entirely untouched by New Reality Britain will be the royal
What does that have
family.
to do with what
Because
Meghan and Harry did?
Because you have accused them of trying to make money
Because
and Kate not trying to make money. Because Kate doesn't need
let
to
me
make
just
money.
say something.
Tom.
Because they said when they left England that they wanted nothing to do with the royal family.
Correct.
They said that they were going to look for their privacy and look for a completely solitary life in California.
Right.
And then all they've done since reaching California is attach themselves to the royal family with their phony tours.
Well,
to
they've done
Nigeria and
two
Colombia.
things. They've attached themselves to the royals as much as they can to profit from being royals, whilst at the same time relentlessly attacking the members of the royal family and the monarchy.
You've just
Paula.
okay, but you've just accused them of leeching onto the royal family, and then in the same breath, 2 seconds ago, you said he didn't even go to Balmoral to see his father.
I remember
That's not
Harry's
contradictory.
leaving
That's not contradictory at all.
I remember
That
Harry-
is not a contradiction.
I remember Harry's
It is
leaving
not.
very different from yours.
Either he cares about his father or he doesn't.
Yeah.
And the whole point about this.
So what
last
about
is
his father saying that he didn't have time in his diary to see him?
Well, because the whole thing was contrived by Harry. He wasn't going to be a puppet.
You know why, Paula?
to Harry's
No, I'm
nonsense.
told on very good authority, I won't say who told me this, that there are the vast majority now of the royal family, almost all of them, almost without exception, don't want to have anything to do with what Meghan and Harry because they don't trust them not to repeat
said
what
this
they tell them.
forever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Let's
telling you
start
as a
record.
fact. As a fact.
Let's go back to the question, which was about Harry and Meghan being able to earn money. My memory of Harry leaving is very different from yours, Tom. My memory of Harry and Meghan leaving was that Harry had asked if he could do certain things and stay as a member of the royal family. And I understand that he was not able to stay as a member of the
Because
royal
the Queen
family
said,
and
"You
do,
can't be
and
half
do
in,
those
half
things.
out."
You're not unique
so
to you. Everyone knows
he
that.
had to leave.
He didn't have to
So,
leave.
yes,
he did
because
not have to leave.
He could have stayed and done his duty.
He could have stayed and done his duty.
He didn't.
Which is, by the way,
feel
what
that
goes with the
Meghan-
royal
So
titles.
that he didn't feel that Meghan was safe. So he had
You
to
know
leave.
that's nonsense.
And when he
can't
made
believe
the,
this,
and
Paul,
when
that rubbish.
he made the decision to leave, and
she
Tom,
go-
with
she goes to
respect, I allowed
Colombia
you to
and she's
speak,
not
and you're
safe.
now
She was literally in downtown Bogota last month.
I'll wait for you to finish.
Not safe to
I'll
come
wait-
to the UK,
I'll
but
wait
fine
for
to go to
you.
Colombia.
I'll wait for you to
I mean,
finish.
do me a
Well,
favour.
I didn't see the paparazzi hounding her in Colombia
You didn't?
or in Nigeria.
Where do you think the pictures
She also
came
went
from?
to Nigeria. Are you mocking Colombia and
Tell you
Nigeria?
what I'm mocking. The fact that they think they're entitled to do rival royal tours, which only promote them, when they do zero royal duty
My understanding
for the
was
monarchy
Nigeria was about Invictus.
on behalf of this country. Nothing.
And that's why
it's
they were
all for themselves.
invited to
It's
go.
all for themselves.
But coming back to the money point, because I think this is really important, because you hear this all the time. So he left his family, as many people do in difficult circumstances.
Yeah.
They make the decision to leave their family.
No problem.
What do you expect him to do to
Not
earn
trade on-
money?
not
Not
trade
trade
on
off the
rent
institution
family.
he trashes.
Money.
Yes.
He's
Not trade off the
on the
institution
contrary.
he trashes.
On the
They
contrary,
damage the
he's
monarchy.
talking-
Every time they do something, they damage the monarchy. And yet they want to, at the same
So
time,
you give him
trade
the
off
power,
the royal titles.
You're giving him the power to say that he
I would
has
take away
damaged
their power. I would
No.
remove their titles.
No, if you allow
If
me
I
to
was King
finish-
Charles, take the titles away. Try your luck as Harry and Meghan, regular Joes.
What is the
But the Duke and
damage-
Duchess of Sussex,
what is
members of the royal
damage
family,
that you are
no.
saying that he has done to the
Lied
royal
and
family?
lied and lied from Oprah Winfrey
No,
onwards.
I'm not saying
For
what you're
massive
saying he
personal gain.
did. I'm saying what is the damage? Because you have to
Because they
accept...
lie about the royal family.
No, the damage. Let's focus on that word, because you accept
Let me give
that
you an
they are
example.
not popular
Let me give you an
with
example.
the younger
I would
population.
Let me give you an example.
I would like to explain
What
the
about
damage.
calling them a bunch of callous racists without any evidence?
The
Right,
damage
where
they've
is the
done,
damage?
Paula,
What
the
is the
damage
damage?
they've
What about
done,
through the Commonwealth, the damage for calling them racist?
the damage. Can I explain what I perceive to be Piers and Tom
The
from a
issue
different
about
generation?
colonialism goes far further than Harry and Meghan.
But they
Piers,
said
and
it
you know
wasn't
that.
true.
Where is the
Far
evidence
further
for the
than that.
racism? There isn't any.
These
Right.
two old crusties, what they love more than anything in
Oh,
the world
crusties, wow.
is the monarchy.
Surprised you
And
didn't call us
Harry and
white
Meghan
crusties.
turned their backs on the monarchy, the Britain's beloved monarchy, and that has wounded
No,
dinosaurs
Tessa.
like Piers and Tom.
Tessa.
They're not allowed freedom of choice.
Tessa.
That is the truth,
Tessa.
Paula. They're not allowed to
And
marry.
that is the
You want
damage.
them to be like Sophie and Edward.
Tessa.
You know, they couldn't make it in the media world, so they became the
Actually,
dutiful
hugely
Duke and
admiring of
Duchess.
Sophie and Edward's
I know,
work
I know,
ethic.
and I
Work
am too,
ethic
and I am too.
on
but
behalf of the country,
But why
yes.
should Harry and Meghan have to be like them?
Because they didn't leave the monarchy.
And they lied
If they
to
had
Oprah
left the
Winfrey.
monarchy and given up their titles and gone and been celebrities in California, no problem.
You
right?
want
It's the fact
Harry
they want to
and
have their
Meghan
royal
to go-
cake and eat it.
You want them
they
to-
want to be royals
No.
while dumping
No,
on the royals.
They are
and
royals.
Dumping
It's not
on
that
the
they
monarchy.
want to be.
Yes.
Let's be clear. They are royals, and what you want them to do is to scurry and hide underneath
I
the
want
rock.
them to stop lying.
They
I
are
want
not
them to
going to
stop
do
Stop lying and
that.
stop
Stop
trashing
lying.
the royal family.
But they haven't lied recently. All they've
Recently?
done is
Oh my God!
No, let's be
Oh
clear.
my God!
Let's be
And by the
clear.
way, what about this priceless nugget to end on? People magazine, which is one of the most gossipy magazines in the world, America's #1 gossip magazine, today did a post on X, in which they said that Prince Harry had emailed them his personal thoughts about his 40th birthday. which
that your source,
on
the
Sunday.
People magazine?
Here's my thoughts. Prince Privacy, the guy who sues every publication he can think of for invading his privacy, is now emailing America's #1 gossip magazine
No,
to
Piers.
give them all the
Piers.
inside
No,
lowdown
again.
on his
That's your source.
40th birthday.
Wait,
You literally
Twitter,
couldn't make it up.
We're
Couldn't
talking
make it up.
about misleading here, Piers. Come on.
Yeah,
He was
we are.
asked a question and he responded to the
He
question.
personally emailed People magazine.
Okay, so how was he going
It's
to
like me saying, I really want my privacy. By the way, I'm just emailing the National Enquirer to let them know what I'm doing for my birthday. Do me a favour!
He hasn't stopped.
All right, we got to
Why
leave
are
it.
you so
We've got to leave it there. But
Angry.
lovely to see you all. I'm not
Angry.
angry. You know what I'm
Angry.
angry about?
Angry, you're
I'm
angry
angry.
man.
I'm angry that even
And
though the
cynical.
polls show how unpopular they are because of the way they behave, you two are the last two standing.
No, we're not.
Still defending the indefensible.
You dragged the Sussexes onto the table and talked about them. We could have
You've
stuck
done a
with
good
Kate.
Kate's cancer video. I know what we'll do. We'll stick out our promo for our polo series. Wow. Okay. Thank you all very much. Great to see you all, especially after the long, boring summer without you. Thank you very much.